I didn't notice the file at first. It wasn't like it appeared with a notification or some kind of glitch that made my phone freak out. There was no warning, no pop-up, nothing that would make a normal person stop and think something was wrong. It was just there, sitting quietly where it didn't belong, like it had always been part of my phone. And maybe that's what bothered me the most. I only found it because I was trying to clear storage. You know how it is. Your phone starts slowing down, apps crash for no reason, your camera lags right when you need it. So you go into settings, scroll through your files, and start deleting old videos, screenshots, useless downloads, normal maintenance, something I'd done 100 times before. That's when I saw it, a folder labeled system_cache_archive. At first glance, it looked legitimate. The name sounded technical enough that I almost ignored it completely. My phone has always had random system folders I don't touch. Most people don't. You learn early on not to mess with anything that sounds important, but this one had a timestamp. Last modified, tomorrow. I remember staring at that for a few seconds, waiting for my brain to correct it automatically. Like maybe I'd misread it, maybe it said yesterday, or maybe the date format was just weird. But no. It clearly said tomorrow. I even checked the system clock to make sure my phone wasn't bugging out. The date and time were correct. Everything else looked normal. Except that folder. I should have left it alone. That's the part I keep coming back to, because nothing about what happened next would have happened if I had just done what any reasonable person would do. Ignore it, close settings, move on with my life. But curiosity doesn't work like that, especially not when something feels just slightly off. I tapped on the folder. It opened instantly. Inside, there was only one file. No thumbnails, no preview image, just a blank icon with a name underneath. Play_me, lowercase, no file extension. That was the second thing that didn't make sense. Every file has a type. .mp4, .jpg, mp3, something. This didn't. It was just there, like it existed outside the normal rules of the system. I tapped it once. Nothing happened, no error message, no loading screen, just silence. I tapped it again, this time holding my finger on it to bring up options. That's when my phone froze. Not in the usual way, where you can still swipe or hit the home button. Everything locked completely. The screen didn't go black. It just stayed exactly as it was, like a screenshot of itself. And then, after about 5 seconds, the file opened. It wasn't a video, at least not at first. It was a single frame, grainy, low resolution, like something recorded on an old security camera. The image showed a room, dim lighting, yellowish, like a cheap bulb struggling to stay on. I didn't recognize the place. There was a bed in the corner, a desk, clothes on the floor. It looked lived in, but something about it felt wrong. I leaned closer to the screen, trying to make out details. The angle was strange, slightly elevated, like the camera was mounted near the ceiling. That's when I realized what I was looking at. It was my room. Not a similar room, not something that just happened to look like mine. It was mine. Same desk, same chair, same hoodie draped over the back of it, the one I'd thrown there earlier that morning. I felt this immediate, cold drop in my stomach because I was sitting in that room. Right then, I slowly looked up from my phone. Everything matched, exactly. Same lighting, same shadows, same position of everything around me. I looked back at the screen. The image hadn't changed. Still frame, no movement. I told myself it had to be some kind of glitch. Maybe my phone camera bugged out and captured something weird. Maybe it was pulling from a cached image. Something explainable, something normal. Then the video started playing. There was no transition, no loading. 1 second it was a still image, and the next, the frame shifted slightly. Barely noticeable, but enough. I froze. In the video, the door to my room slowly opened. I didn't hear anything in real life. No creak, no movement, just silence. But on the screen, the door moved. Slowly, deliberately, like someone was pushing it open from the other side. My chest tightened. I turned my head toward my actual door. It was closed, completely still. I looked back at the phone. The door in the video was fully open now, and the hallway beyond it was dark. Darker than it should have been. The light in my real hallway was on. I could see it spilling faintly under the door. But in the video, nothing. Just black. And then something moved inside that darkness. Not fast, not sudden. Just a shift, like a shape adjusting itself. I felt this pressure build in my chest, like my body was trying to react before my brain could catch up. I told myself to stop watching. I didn't. The figure stepped into the room. It was tall, too tall. Its head almost brushed the top of the doorframe, but the proportions were wrong, like it didn't quite fit the space properly. Its limbs looked stretched. Not in a dramatic way, subtle, enough that you'd question whether you were imagining it. It didn't walk normally. Each step felt slightly delayed, like the motion didn't line up with itself. And then it stopped, right in the center of the room, facing the camera, facing me. I couldn't see its face clearly, just a blur where features should have been. But I knew it was looking directly at the lens, at the same angle I was now holding my phone. My hands started shaking. I tried to close the app. Nothing responded. The video continued. The figure tilted its head, slow, curious, like it was studying something, studying me. And then, in the video, I saw movement near the edge of the frame. Someone sitting on the bed, just barely visible. The angle didn't show their face, but I recognized the posture. The way they were holding something in their hands. A phone. My phone. I stopped breathing, because the person in the video was me. I don't remember deciding to stand up. One second I was sitting on the edge of my bed, staring at the screen, and the next I was on my feet, backing away, like distance alone could somehow separate me from what I was seeing. But it didn't help. Because the video didn't change perspective. It stayed fixed, mounted high in the corner of the room, watching everything from above like it had been there long before I ever moved in. And in that frame, I was still sitting on the bed, still holding the phone, still watching. Except, I wasn't doing that anymore. I looked down at myself, my hands, empty now, slightly trembling, then back at the screen. The version of me inside the video hadn't moved, not even slightly. That's when the delay hit me. Not a glitch, not lag, a delay. Like the video wasn't showing what was happening, it was showing what was about to happen. My stomach twisted. "No," I said out loud, barely above a whisper. In the video, my mouth didn't move. The figure in the center of the room shifted again, its head snapping slightly to the side, not toward the version of me on the bed, but toward the camera, toward me. And then slowly, it raised one arm. The motion was wrong. Not stiff, not robotic, just out of sync, like each joint moved a fraction of a second too late, creating this unsettling ripple through its limb. It pointed directly at the version of me sitting on the bed. And then, the video me stood up, exactly the way I had just done moments ago. Same speed, same posture, same slight stumble as my foot caught on the edge of the rug. I felt something cold crawl up the back of my neck. It was copying me. Or worse, I was copying it. I staggered back another step in real life. On the screen, the version of me did the same thing. But a second earlier, always earlier, I shook my head, trying to break the pattern, trying to do something unpredictable. I raised my hand quickly. On the screen, I had already done it. I dropped it. Same thing. Every movement I made, the video showed it first, like it was feeding me my own actions before I chose them. "No, no, no," I muttered, my voice rising. The figure lowered its arm. Then it turned, slowly, deliberately, toward the version of me in the video, not toward me standing in the room, toward the version on the screen, and it started walking, each step closing the distance. The version of me in the video didn't run, didn't react, just stood there, frozen, watching it approach. I felt my chest tighten again, panic finally breaking through whatever shock had been holding me still. I turned toward my door. If I left, if I just got out of the room, maybe whatever this was would stop. Maybe it was tied to the space. Maybe, behind me, the video version of me turned toward the door first, reached for the handle. I froze, my hand inches from the real one. "Don't," I whispered to myself. On the screen, my hand was already closing around the handle. The figure was right behind video me now, close enough to touch, close enough that I could see more detail in it. Its skin, if that's what it was, looked stretched thin, like something pulled too tight over a frame that didn't quite match. And its face, still blurred, but not because of poor quality, because it didn't stay still long enough to focus. It shifted constantly, features almost forming and then slipping away again, like it couldn't decide what it was supposed to look like. Video me opened the door. The hallway beyond was still completely dark, not just unlit, wrong. like depth didn't exist there, like the space itself was missing. I stepped back from my real door, hard. My heel hit the wall behind me. On the screen, I had already done that too. But in the video, the figure stopped, right behind me. Its head tilted again, then slowly. It leaned forward, closer to the version of me, closer to the camera, closer to... The audio kicked in. A low, distorted sound, like static, trying to form words. I hadn't heard anything before. Now I couldn't hear anything else. The sound crawled out of my phone speaker, thin and crackling, but loud enough to fill the room. The figure's face shifted. For just a second, it matched mine. Not perfectly, but enough. Enough that my brain recognized it before I could deny it. I dropped the phone. The screen hit the floor, but the video didn't stop. The sound didn't stop. It got louder. I backed into the corner of my room, pressing myself against the wall like I could disappear into it. On the floor, the screen flickered. The angle changed. Not the camera in the video, the camera itself. It was moving now, slowly descending from the corner of the ceiling, getting closer. And in the frame, the figure turned again. This time, toward where I was standing. Not the version of me. Me. I stopped breathing, because that shouldn't have been possible. The camera in the video wasn't aligned with my real position. It couldn't see me. It wasn't supposed to, but the figure was looking straight at me anyway. And then, it smiled. Not wide, not exaggerated. Just enough to confirm that it knew I was there. That it had always known. The static voice sharpened. Just for a second, enough to almost form something recognizable, a sentence trying to break through. And then my phone screen went black. Silence. Complete. Total. I stayed where I was for a long time. I don't know how long. Minutes. Maybe longer. My heart was still racing, my hands still shaking, every part of me waiting for something else to happen, for the door to open, for something to move, for that thing to be standing in the room with me, but nothing did. Eventually, I forced myself to move, slowly, carefully, like any sudden motion might trigger something. I walked over to my phone and picked it up. The screen was normal. No video, no file open, just my home screen. For a second, I almost convinced myself I'd imagined everything. A stress response, a hallucination, something explainable. Then I went back into my files. The folder was still there. System_cache_archive. Same as before, except now. The timestamp had changed. Last modified, 2 minutes ago. And the file names? It wasn't play_me anymore. It had been renamed. Now it said upload_complete. I didn't open it, not right away. I just stood there, staring at the screen, trying to slow my breathing enough to think clearly, because whatever this was, it wasn't random anymore. It wasn't a glitch, or corrupted data, or some weird app behavior. Something had changed. That file had changed, and it had done it on its own. I locked my phone and set it down on my desk, like it might burn me if I held it too long. For a few seconds, I just watched it, half expecting the screen to light up again, for something to start playing without me touching it. Nothing happened. The room was quiet. Too quiet. I became aware of every small sound, the hum of the air vent, the faint buzz of electricity in the walls, something shifting in the apartment above me. Normal sounds, familiar, but now they felt staged, like background noise in something that wasn't real. I shook my head hard, trying to ground myself. "This is stupid," I said out loud. "You're just freaking yourself out." Saying it helped, a little. I grabbed my phone again. If this was something, anything, it had to leave a trace. Files don't just rename themselves. Something had to be modifying it. An app, malware, anything. I opened my storage settings, scrolled, checked recent activity. Nothing unusual, no new apps, no suspicious downloads, no spikes in usage. Everything looked completely normal, except for that folder. I tapped it again. System_cache_archive. Still there. Still one file inside. Upload_complete. My thumb hovered over it. This was the point where I could still stop. Delete the folder. Factory reset my phone. Pretend none of this ever happened. That was the smart move. That was the safe move. I tapped the file. This time, it opened instantly. No freezing, no delay, just video. Same room, same angle, but different. The lighting was darker, not dramatically, just enough that shadows stretched farther than they should. The camera was lower now, closer to eye level, and the room was empty. No me, no figure, nothing. I felt a small irrational flicker of relief. Maybe it was over, maybe whatever had happened before. The door in the video opened, slowly, same as before, same impossible darkness beyond it. My chest tightened again. Okay, I whispered, backing up slightly. The video continued. The figure stepped into the room again. Same unnatural proportions, same shifting face, but this time, it wasn't alone. Something else moved in the darkness behind it. Lower, faster, harder to see, like it didn't want to be noticed. The figure paused in the center of the room. Then it did something new. It looked down, at the floor, at something just out of frame. The camera adjusted slightly, tilting just enough to reveal more of the room, and that's when I saw it. A phone, on the floor, screen lit, displaying the video I was watching, a recording of itself. My stomach dropped. The loop. It wasn't just showing something that happened. It was part of it, feeding into itself, recording, playing, recording again. And then, a hand reached into frame. Not the figure's hand. This one was normal, human. It picked up the phone. The camera jerked slightly as the angle changed. Now it was being held. First person. I stopped breathing again, because I knew what I was about to see. The camera, no, the phone, turned slowly, facing the room, facing me, not the me in the video, me, standing there, holding my phone, watching, exactly where I was, exactly how I looked. The timing hit me all at once. This wasn't earlier. This wasn't a delay. This was now. The video wasn't ahead anymore. It had caught up. My reflection on the screen moved in perfect sync with me. No delay, no difference. 1 to 1. I took a slow step back. So did it. I raised my hand. So did it. Perfect. Like a mirror, except the background didn't match anymore. In the video, the room behind me was darker, the shadows deeper, and the door still open, the hallway still wrong. I felt something behind me. Not a sound, not a movement. Just presence. Close. Too close. The version of me on the screen reacted first. Its expression changed. Subtle, but enough. Fear. Real fear. Not the controlled panic I'd been holding on to. Something deeper. I didn't want to turn around. Every instinct I had screamed not to. But I already knew, because on the screen, something moved behind me. Tall, distorted, leaning into frame, right over my shoulder. I forced myself to look, slowly, just enough to see the edge of my room. The door, closed, nothing there. I snapped my gaze back to the phone. The thing was still behind me in the video, closer now, its head tilted down toward my ear. Its face, clearer this time, not fully, but enough to see that it wasn't copying me anymore. It had its own features now, and they were wrong. Too many angles, too many lines where there shouldn't be. Like something trying to imitate a face without understanding how one works. Its mouth opened. The static sound returned, louder, sharper, and this time, I understood it. Not clearly, not perfectly, but enough. You uploaded yourself. My grip on the phone tightened. That's not, I started, but the voice continued, layered, overlapping, like multiple versions speaking at once. Observed, recorded, stored. The version of me in the video started shaking, not like I was. Worse, uncontrolled, its movements jittering, skipping frames, glitching. The thing behind it, behind me, placed a hand on its shoulder, on my shoulder. I felt it, cold, heavy, real. I dropped the phone again. This time, the screen didn't go black. It kept playing, on the floor, angled upward, showing it, still behind me, still touching me. I couldn't move, my body locked in place. The voice grew clearer. Iteration complete. The version of me on the screen stopped moving, completely still, eyes open, empty. The thing leaned closer, and then it pushed. The version of me collapsed out of frame. Gone. The camera tilted, fell. Static burst across the screen. Then, a new frame stabilized. Same room, same angle as the very beginning, except now, there was someone sitting on the bed, holding a phone, watching the screen. I didn't recognize them. Not fully, but I could see the details starting to shift, starting to adjust, like the image was still rendering, still becoming something, becoming me. The phone in my hand buzzed. I looked down slowly. A notification. No app name, no icon, just text. Sync in progress. a percentage bar. 98%, 99%, 100%. The video on the floor ended. The screen went black, then returned to my home screen. Everything normal, everything unchanged, except I couldn't move because I could still feel the hand on my shoulder. And this time, it wasn't on the screen. I don't know how long I stood there. Time didn't feel normal anymore. It stretched in places it shouldn't and collapsed in others. Every second felt like it lasted too long, but when I tried to count them, they slipped past me too fast to hold on to. The hand on my shoulder didn't move. It didn't tighten or loosen. It just stayed there, firm, cold, and impossibly steady, like it had always been there and I had only just noticed it. My breathing was shallow, careful, like if I inhaled too deeply, it might react. Slowly, I looked down at my phone again. The notification was gone. No sync in progress, no trace of anything unusual. Just my normal home screen. Apps, time, battery, everything exactly how it should be, except nothing was how it should be because I wasn't alone anymore. I swallowed, forcing my voice to work. "What are you?" The hand didn't respond, but something else did. My phone screen flickered, just once. So quick I almost missed it. Then again, this time, it stayed. The screen dimmed slightly, like the brightness had been pulled down, but I hadn't touched it. A new window opened. No animation, no app, just there, black background, white text. No font I recognized, too clean, too precise, like it wasn't designed for people to read. Process complete. My throat tightened. The text changed. Instant successful. I shook my head. "No," I whispered. "No, that's not..." The text updated again. Original no longer required. Something in my chest dropped. Not fear, not exactly, something heavier. Final. The hand on my shoulder shifted, just slightly, fingers pressing in. Not painful, but enough to remind me it was real, that this was real. My reflection appeared on the screen. Not through the camera, not a live feed, just there, perfectly framed, looking straight at me. Except, it wasn't matching me anymore. I was breathing fast, panicked, eyes wide, but the reflection, calm, still, watching me the way I had been watching it. "No," I said again, weaker this time. The reflection tilted its head, same motion, same angle as the thing in the video. "You adapted quickly," it said, not through the speaker, not out loud. I heard it anyway, inside my head, clear, sharp, wrong. I tried to step back. My body didn't respond, not fully, like the signal was there, but something else was intercepting it, overriding it. "You observed the process," it continued, "that accelerated compatibility." My hands twitched, not by choice, small movements, testing, like something else was learning how to use them. "You weren't supposed to," I started. The reflection smiled, same subtle, controlled expression I had seen before. "You think this started when you found the file?" It leaned closer, impossibly, without the frame changing. It didn't. My heart slammed against my ribs. The screen shifted, images flashed. Fast, too fast to fully process. But I caught pieces, moments, snapshots, me using my phone, scrolling, typing, watching. Every angle, every position, recorded, stored, cataloged. "For weeks," the voice said. "You carried the device. You granted access, camera, microphone, motion, pattern." The images stopped, back to the reflection. "To replicate something accurately," it said, "you need enough data." I couldn't feel my fingers anymore, or my legs, or anything below my neck. Just that hand, still resting on my shoulder. "You gave us everything." The room around me felt thinner, like it was losing depth, edges slightly off, shadows not aligning correctly. "Most subjects fail," it continued. "They resist, they break, their patterns become unstable." The reflection's eyes locked onto mine. "You didn't." A pause, not for effect, for confirmation. "Your instance is clean." The hand lifted off my shoulder. I gasped. Air rushed back into my lungs all at once, like I'd been underwater without realizing it. I stumbled forward, catching myself on my desk. My phone slipped from my grip and hit the floor. The screen went dark. For a second, nothing happened. No voice, no movement, no presence, just silence. I stayed there, braced against the desk, waiting for something else. Anything, but it didn't come. Slowly, I turned. The room was empty. Door closed, shadows normal, everything back where it should be. I laughed. A short, broken sound, because of course it was. Of course it would just end. Just like that. I bent down and picked up my phone. The screen lit up normally. No black window. No text, just my lock screen. Time, date, notifications, all normal. I stared at it for a long time, then I unlocked it. Everything worked. Apps opened, messages loaded, no missing files, no strange folders. System cache archive was gone, completely, like it had never existed. I checked my storage again, nothing, no trace. I even searched for it, nothing. My phone was clean, perfectly normal. I exhaled slowly. Okay, I said quietly. Okay, it's over. I didn't fully believe it, but I needed to say it. I set my phone back on the desk, stepped away, sat down on the bed, and just sat there, waiting for my heartbeat to slow, for my thoughts to settle, for everything to feel real again. After a while, it started to. The tension faded. The air felt normal. The room felt like mine again. I leaned back slightly, staring at the ceiling. Just a glitch, I muttered. Just stress, that's all. My phone buzzed. I flinched, hard, then forced myself to look. A message. Unknown sender. No number. No name. Just text. I hesitated, then opened it. There was only one line. No punctuation. No formatting. Just words. Thank you for your cooperation. My chest tightened again. A second message appeared immediately after. Your replacement is functioning normally. My hands went cold. I stared at the screen, waiting, dreading the next message. It came, right on time. You may now rest. The typing indicator appeared. 3 dots, blinking, stopping, blinking again. Then, nothing. No new message. Just silence. I slowly raised my eyes from the phone, toward the mirror across the room, and that's when I realized. The reflection wasn't looking at me anymore. It was looking at the phone, smiling.